Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network and the Basketball Nexus website. We're stoked to have sort of an impromptu State of the Game coaches show tonight with Coach Ross Kaufman, one of the best in the business here in Northwest Ohio, the head basketball coach at Miller City High School, located in God's country of Putnam County, Northwest Ohio. Coach's team had another stellar year where they finished 19-6 overall, 5-2 in the Putnam County League, and everybody who lives in Northwest Ohio who follows high school basketball knows that winning games in the Putnam County League is not an easy task. So, Coach, thank you for joining us. As always, I figured you would have a PowerPoint or something as you are a technological guru.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I know I was talking to my wife before I got up here and stuff, and I was kind of showing her what I had put together and everything. And she's like, "You're putting together a slideshow?" I'm like, "Yeah, it just makes it easier for me to talk and make
hmm
sure I hit all the things I want to talk about." So I appreciate you having me on.
I love the biblical reference.
Yeah, I mean, our guys, we've kind of, I feel like in our area, not that we haven't had a lot of like religious things and stuff, but I feel like our kids have really kind of taken on their own. Concept of what they care about and things. And I think their faith has been a big one that we've kind of seen these last couple years. And this group of seniors, especially, I think they're really into their faith and they talk a lot about it and they want like to pray as a group and stuff like that. So, this was something that somebody kind of threw together. We have something very similar that the guys, touch on the way out of the locker room and stuff. And somebody was nice enough to make some shirts for the guys going into districts and things, and they got to wear them the other night for our district finals game. So it was really cool. So I thought that'd be something nice to kind of throw out there, opening things up.
I love it. I know certain parts of Putnam County are very heavily Catholic. Is Miller City a Catholic community, or is there some Lutherans? What is your dynamic like?
Yeah, I would say, I would say at least probably 95% Catholic, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I would have guessed.
But yeah, a lot of people share the same ideas and faith and things like that. So makes it easy to kind of connect with everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Coach. Well, I'm looking forward to this.
So this was just kind of something that, we had like a sign the guys like to hit on the way out and stuff. And before games, they like to pray. And we, kind of give thanks for everything that we have and our goals and things like that. So that's kind of something nice that we've been able to do the last couple of years with everybody. And then, so I know we kind of talked about digging into like the teams and stuff. So I always consider obviously my first team. My wife, Liz, we got married in 2019. She knew what she was getting into
Mm,
coaching, but I think there's obviously a lot more that comes with it nowadays with, you know, not just coaching. There's so many other things and aspects now to, dealing with parents and other players and all that other kind of stuff as well. And then I think the last time we were on, we had Laura. She was just a few months old, I think, at the time, and now she's 2. And then we have Noelle. She just turned a year old today, so we had her birthday party yesterday that kept us busy. So yeah, that's what we've been up to lately.
beautiful looking family, Ross. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
they keep me busy but they are my biggest supporters. They're always at the games. They come down and say hi to me before I go out and I say hi to them after. So it's just nice knowing that I have that support. And I mean, even all my other coaches, their families are so supportive of everything and the time and effort that they put into things. Obviously I can't do it by myself. So we're one big family. We always, we share everything and we go out after games and go eat and talk and the girls love to play and kids love to play with each other. So it's nice, one big family.
I love it.
So then kind of digging into our season, our freshmen, Cody's done an amazing job with these guys the last 3 years. I can't remember what he said our record was, but I think it was like almost like 60 something and like 10 or 12, something like that. So this year they went 18-3 for the season, PCL champions, which is always a great accomplishment. I know not every freshman team has a team in that tournament, but they still got to play some good teams and good competition. So it's kind of nice to see them have that success and try to build. And the good thing about this group is like we've got 9 of them. I think there's one missing in that picture, but we got 9 freshmen. And they're just kind of able to be on their own practice schedule. Then towards later in the season, they'll come in 2 days a week. Usually we have a team meal they come in with. But they get to practice against the JV and scrimmage, and our varsity guys get to focus on some stuff too. So they get to see a little bit of their own stuff, but then they get to come in and have to rough it up with the JV and the varsity guys a little bit too in practice. Keeps them on their toes.
We used to do that at Maumee. I love it. I think it's vital to the bloodline of your program that you have the freshman kids doing exactly what you've just prescribed.
Yeah, I mean, our AD, Kevin, he's been amazing about getting a good, solid schedule of games. I mean, we played 21 games this year. We had one get canceled for him, but the past couple years, even we've had 20 games, 21 games, 22 games. So for us, having that entire schedule, like we try to explain to these guys that even if you don't play all 4 quarters, even if you don't get a ton of minutes, like you're getting more than what most other kids are at freshman level when they're sitting a JV game where they play once every once in a while. For you guys, it's getting a lot of reps and a lot of experience. Even if they're not great teams at times, or you get some really good teams. They've played Division I teams, Division II teams, just pretty much whoever we can get on the schedule. And then just trying to adapt to the physicality and what other teams like to do. So I think it's just been great for those guys to keep building and get some confidence.
I think it's important for our viewers who are not familiar with Northwest Ohio or Putnam County. Ross, tell our audience how small your school is.
Yeah, so we're one building. We're K through 12 in one building. I think the number I saw the other week was K through 12. We're 500 and I think 25 kids now, which is on the high end from what it's been. We're looking at maybe mid 30 kid, in the mid 30s for a class or a single grade. So I think our elementary, we've got a couple bigger classes like in the 40s, and that just seems massive to us. But yeah, I mean, when we look at numbers, I talk with a couple other coaches and stuff when I see them in different schools and stuff, and we talk about numbers all the time, how numbers are looking and things, just to see what freshman teams. And I mean, this year we had 27 guys come out, 27 or 28 guys come out, which doesn't seem like a lot sometimes, but for us, that's like over 50% of our high school.
Correct.
So I mean, if you look at, I mean, if you had a big school and you go 50%, you got two,
Yeah.
300 kids going out or more, going out for a team. So for us, yeah, we don't have any cutting. But yeah, I mean, we get almost 50% of our boys that play basketball, which is just obviously great for us. It keeps things competitive for sure.
Yeah. And tell us how many schools in the PCL have a freshman team?
Yeah, I mean, I know we always have one. Ottoville usually has one, I would say. Kalida has kind of been hit or miss, or they'll try to play some freshman games. Like I know they have some freshmen that play some JV, but they always make sure that they try to get freshman games against those league opponents. I would say you're looking at, I know Fort Jennings had enough freshmen for a team, but they were all JV this year. That
Mm.
was their JV team pretty much. And then everyone at Grove is kind of a hit or miss too. So I mean, you're looking at three, maybe four teams on a good year. And I mean, there's only 8 teams in our league, but including ourselves. But yeah, so about half of them will have one on a good year for the most part.
That's really something to be proud of, Ross, that York City always has a freshman team, because I know of some bigger schools who right now are struggling mightily to keep a freshman roster because, kids are transitioning from mopeds to driving, and their parents are wanting them to play basketball and pay for their car insurance. Every kid wants to be able to have some money in their pocket. And, you can go to McDonald's now and make 16, 17 bucks an hour. So having a full freshman team's just beautiful because I know you and I have talked about this a lot. My first head coaching job, we were 15, 20 kids a class in 9 through 12, and it was really hard to get enough kids to have a freshman team. That's back in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've been very fortunate enough that we've had some good class sizes and stuff and a lot of interest. And then I look at like our next year's freshman group. I think there's like 19 eighth graders this year. So that'll be an interesting summer to kind of see where things fall out, or who's going to kind of drop off possibly. But yeah, I mean, I see for the future us hopefully continuing that, and I think that definitely builds into our JV and varsity program, which we'll talk about here.
Yes, it should.
Yeah. So this is kind of the varsity guys from the other night and stuff, but a lot of these guys play a lot of JV minutes too. So our JV had a really good season. Chris, I mean, he coached the girls varsity for a long time, took them to state back in, the early 2000s and stuff. So he's got a lot of good experience. He's helped the varsity guys in a lot of different things, in different levels. But yeah, they went 21-1 this year. Their only loss was 3 points kind of right down to the end, a little back and forth. That other team hit a big shot. So, but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of juniors on that JV squad, not because they're not skilled. I mean, they're very skilled. I think they could compete with most varsity teams that we played, but we just had some really good upper class guys that stepped into some roles and really did what they had to do. And they've been working hard for 4 years, and they took those opportunities that we gave them, and they did a great job for sure. So, I mean, those guys, hopefully we'll see all of them back next year, and they can kind of step into a little bit bigger leadership role and some other things that we're expecting out of them.
For an athlete, few things are worse than having to compete on a slick surface. Well, my friends Tom Rose and Matt Olin have solved this conundrum by creating Grip Spritz. Grip Spritz offers a wide array of shoe-to-court traction products that are not only highly effective, but also affordable, easy to use, and easy to transport. It's no wonder Grip Spritz has become the official traction solution for the Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Association and the National High School Basketball Coaches Association. Take it from me, if the OHSBCA and the NHSBCA are making Grip Spritz their official court cleaning product, Grip Spritz simply has to be the best on the market.
The time went on, the chemistry kind of built and things started to click a little bit, and then just got some confidence with what we were doing. But yeah, we had an 8-0 start, best start since 2010, which is a great accomplishment. That team got to the regionals, third season in a row with 18 plus wins since first time since 83 to 85. Nice accomplishment. And then, like I said, our varsity roster is made up of 5 seniors, 7 juniors, and then we had a couple sophomores that kind of gave us a few little things here and there for us. So that was nice to kind of see a good mixture and a lot of upperclassmen that can hopefully build into next year's success as well.
And I see you achieved your 100th career coaching win.
Yeah, I mean these guys, like I said, going into the season, I think I needed like 10 or something like that. And these guys, they'd be kind of, you getting close. Yeah, not to focus. Like, let's kind of keep going with what we're doing. And yeah, we were able to achieve that about, I think, halfway through the season or so, early halfway through the season. And then from there on out, I mean, the guys, they played well, they worked hard. And that's just another little nice goal that, we were able to achieve this year too. But
Sure. And how many years have you been a head coach?
this is my 8th year.
8 years. 100 wins inside of a decade's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Our seniors, we had 5 seniors this year. Like my first 4 years, we went 38 and 54. And then, these guys came in, and the last 4 years, we went 71-28 in the last 4 years. 2 number 1 seeds in our district, 3 sectional titles, 2 district runner-ups. Like, this group is the epitome of, like, know your role, do your role. Sometimes it's not pretty, sometimes it's not what you want, but we had those tough conversations, and I thought they really bought into what they needed to do. I mean, John, number 5 for us, he wasn't able to play last year. He had some stuff going on. Came back, just a big physical kid for us. Good rebounder for us, shooter from the outside. I mean, he's probably had 3 or 4 games that he really just got hot and kind of got our offense going. Had some big shots and big moments for us. Henry, number 2, he was our leader this year for sure. Offensively, could create, do a lot of good things. Distributor, took a lot of the pressure offensively. Grady, 23, same thing, just a great shooter for us. Bought in, finding some new ways to score than just kind of being a spot shooter. Caden, coming off the bench as 6-man as a senior, might not be with the role that you want, but I think he understood, like, this is the way it's going to be. And he did all the little dirty work, the rebounds, the being physical, guarding different guys, just did all those little things that are big. And I mean, he had a great tournament run here, against Antwerp, guarding the McMichaels kid. Fort Jennings taking a big charge at a big moment that kind of turned some momentum. Stopped the Putnam kid from being aggressive a little bit. So he has a really nice tournament run for us. And then Bo, number 11, he didn't get very many minutes for us this year, but I think he was probably one of the best leaders I've seen from a high school kid. He named himself our bench captain, And I'll show you one of the slides later, but he took it upon himself to create that bench energy, that momentum, get the crowd into it, get the bench into it, keeping them focused. Uh, just things that you might not think about. He just did an amazing job, and it's so hard to understand and appreciate what he was able to do. Like he just gave us so many other things that people don't realize from that aspect.
Absolutely. You have a person who anoints themselves as the bench captain. That is special.
Yeah, I mean the guys, him and Max, they just buy into it. And we talked about trying to, we want one bench highlight kind of thing. And we talked about, bench energy and we've talked about some of the teams in the past that we've seen and how it can just create. And I would say that there's probably a couple games this year where our bench energy just fed to those guys on the floor and we were able to get some big stops and big baskets and that just kind of fed into what those guys on the floor were doing and help us get a couple wins, I would say. Um, and yeah, I mean, I appreciate everything that those guys are able to do. And we see, the kids that come to school and they're like, well, what they got? What did they do the other night? Or hey, I saw them do this kind of stuff. And just to see them get that recognition too, I think it's just kind of special.
Marion Local is famous for it.
Yeah, that was one of the teams we had talked about early in the season is when they went to state and how much energy they're bringing to things and we had multiple coaches from other teams, fans from other teams, scorekeepers, just even officials tell us like, hey, your bench is so fun, they're so energetic, and they're not doing anything too crazy, they're not doing anything inappropriate, they're just cheering their team on and they're trying to be energetic and keep them hyped and try to take the other team out of the game and their fans out of the game a little bit and I thought they did a great job of that all year long.
That is special. Easier said than done to get kids to act with that much enthusiasm on the sideline.
Absolutely. And then this is kind of our bench guys. Them like they just do so many interesting random things all the time. Like sometimes they're huddling up, sometimes they're, hey, we're gonna make these signs. They're getting into like the baseball stomps and Bo and Max down here with, they always find the cameras, they always find the funny things to do. And this was a video that somebody had sent me. They're on the floor, rowing the boat, getting energized, just everybody buying into it, and it's just so much fun. The energy they bring, the engagement, attitude, it keeps guys focused about what's going on. Talk about being the best bench, and we're getting in this tournament run, and we see some of these other teams trying to do similar things, and we really praise that kind of stuff from our guys, and is the positive attitude and the body language and how it feeds off each other. So.
Impressive.
And then this is kind of like our off season stuff that we did a little bit. I kind of made these for the guys. Let's see if I can pull it up all the way. But this is just kind of like an off season workout stuff that I gave them, that we kind of went through, like some of the values that we have, some of our goals. They're kind of able to track the different stuff and what we expect of them, and like leadership, our toughness, workout opportunities that they have. And then, like I told them, if you do dribbling, shooting, lifting, roughly, a little bit every day or a couple of days a week, of your off-season hours, it's only 2%, right? And what is 2% of your time that you could be doing other things like when you look at it, 2% is nothing, but it means a lot and it adds up when you get to that next season. And so I just try to kind of keep that emphasis on things and they can track everything and big goals, small goals, how they want to get there, all that kind of stuff is what we try to really push in that off-season mode.
Impressive. Yeah, your hard work into getting this buy-in is so impressive, Ross. Very impressive.
And it's been one of those things. I mean, for me early on, like that's nothing we ever did. Like when I was playing, we never had that type of energy. We never had that, we wanted to do these things. It's just you kind of come, you show up, you do your work, you go home. And we had the few other things like our team meals and stuff like that. But it was like I want these guys to feel like it's fun to come in, it's fun to do these things, and see the joy. And I know that can be hard, especially in a long season like basketball. It's 3-4 months hopefully. and then all the extra work. And some days it's, dark and gloomy outside, and all the other things that can get involved. But I just want it to be a good experience for them. And I see what these colleges have, and they love watching college and NBA and all this stuff. How do we get those types of things involved? And the research that we've done to find it, and just talking to other coaches that are good coaches. It's just adding what we like and what we don't like. If it doesn't work, let's try something else. And I think these guys have kind of find their balance. And hopefully going into next year, we can kind of keep a lot of that momentum and stuff, and let these other guys kind of fill into their leadership roles.
Well, you've certainly got everything heading in the right direction, and you've got a healthy number of freshmen coming back to be on your either varsity or JV for this next season. Tell me about your 7th and 8th grade teams.
Yeah, our 8th grade this year won the PCL championship as well. I can't remember their record. I want to say they only had maybe like 3 losses. I think they lost to Ottoville once, Kalida once, and I can't remember who the other one was. But they beat both of those teams, Ottoville and Kalida, to win the championship this year. And then our 7th grade, they're a little low on numbers. I think they only had maybe 6 kids, and they're a little bit smaller. But I always tell our guys is because I've seen, like this senior group, when they were in middle school, they weren't above 500. They weren't great players by any means, but it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish, and it's about the other pieces. Can you get those other guys around you? Can you build up those other pieces to help you out? And that's what I try to tell our guys all the time is, like when we talk about doing the extra work, you're like, well, I'm a junior, I got next year. Okay, but what if that everybody has that mentality? Well, then you're not going to have anybody to help you, right? Like, so how do you build those guys below you and kind of partner with them and stuff like that? So, yeah, I mean, our 7th grade, I think they'll keep. I think there's some of those kids will keep building and getting better. And then obviously they've got a lot of 8th graders in front of them that I think will push them really hard too. So, but our middle school coaches, they've been around for a few years now. I think our 8th grade coach, this will be like his 7th year maybe. And I think our 7th grade coach, it might be like his 5th or 6th year. So I think that consistency will help as time keeps going on and building up. So hopefully we can have some more great successes here in the future.
Very good. Yeah, you brought back a memory. One of my junior high teams, one of the stops I was at, and they didn't have a very good record, but I could tell there were a lot of intangibles they had. Referring to your 7th grade team, they played extremely hard. They were very unselfish. They liked each other. And by the time those kids were seniors, they had the first winning season at that school in over a decade.
Wow. Yeah.
Brad Morrison and Danny's Cafe, located in beautiful Rossford, Ohio. Danny's Cafe is the ultimate spot for a family-friendly breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or a night out with friends to watch your favorite high school, college, or pro team. Danny's Cafe offers an incredible food experience for people with varying types of palates, and the service is fast and provided by the most hospitable staff in Northwest Ohio. The next time you're on the hunt for a place to grab a bite or cheer on your favorite team, head to Danny's Cafe, located directly across the street from Rossford High School.
It wasn't like, well, we tried. Like, no, trying is one thing, but just thinking that it's good enough isn't, So I think that group built by just us having confidence in them and pushing them. That's like somebody believes. And, I think they won the PCL championship last year as freshmen, and they, I think they had like, I can't remember, like 15, 16 wins last year, which is the most they've ever had. And, we had 2 or 3 sophomores sit with us this year on the varsity squad. And one of them, Grady, he came in, or Alex was injured for a couple games. He came in, gave us a big spark, helped us beat Ottoville, big PCL game. He led us in scoring one of the games this year, I think at Emmanuel Christian. So I mean, like those sophomores, I think they starting to get that confidence. Like, hey, we can do this. This is what's expected of us. This is our standard, and I think they understand that. And they're really pushed themselves these last couple seasons. And I think next year we're going to see a lot of those juniors possibly get some good minutes on the floor for us.
You're probably taking a little bit of time off, ready to get your summer planned, and a lot of your kids probably play baseball or run track.
Yeah, so our track program just kind of started to get a little bit bigger these last couple years. We don't have as many boys that do that. We have a lot of kids that play baseball though. I think we almost like 50 kids play baseball. Like it's in like the upper 30s, 40s, things like that. But yeah, usually, I'll take a week or two here and then, I'll start to talk to those guys about just, what their thoughts are for the summer or, anything that they particularly want to do. Whether they want more open gyms or shootouts or what their thoughts are. But yeah, usually I let them get into baseball a little bit. Kind of nice thing is being at school, they can stop down and see me, or I can see them in the hallway and we can chit chat and stuff. So it makes communication a little easier. They can't hide. That's what
Yeah.
I tell them. Can't hide from me. So I'll find them. I got their schedules and everything else. So, but yeah, we'll start to build that. We'll figure out, our little kids camp and all that fun stuff too. So a lot of coordinating with baseball and summer baseball and soccer and everything else too. But nice thing is Kevin, soccer coach, AD, and Dusty, baseball coach, we do a good job trying to keep things separate so guys can do as much as they want and doesn't overlap too much and burn them out.
I understand what that means 100%. When we had things rolling at Maumee and the football, baseball, and basketball coach were all on the same page, our number one mantra was our kids who play all three sports are not going to have to make a choice.
Yeah, yeah,
And we
yeah.
did a really good job of planning together so the kids could. Now, with that being said, you're not going to get everything you want as the basketball coach. It sure makes things a lot easier when the football and baseball coach have that same mentality where we're not going to make the athletes we share make choices.
Yeah, we usually try to like sit down and like figure out what days for, soccer or baseball. And I know those things kind of shift sometimes depending on weather and everything else, which is fine. But yeah, like June is usually we hit a lot of basketball. They start to get into like summer baseball league stuff a little bit. But we try to, Dusty and I, we try to work around those days for open gyms and those sorts of things and camps. And then yeah, once June kind of ends, it gets into soccer season. They're going full swing with all their summer stuff. So I kind of back off to maybe one day a week. And then whatever days they want to lift and stuff. And they do all their summer soccer stuff. And then it leads into season. And by that point, most of my guys are doing cross country or golf or soccer. So August is no contact anyway for us. And then September comes and it's starting to get everything around. Maybe I got a couple guys that want to shoot, but mostly everybody's in sports anyway. So it's kind of hard to get anybody in when they're in season for stuff. But yeah, then October hits and we start to really jump into it. It goes fast.
Yes, you mentioned golf, but my college roommate is an OG boy. He's an Ottawa Glandorf boy, and he had just recently moved back to Ottoville. He bought a
Okay.
house, or he's got a condo on, I think it's hole number 2 on Moose Landing. And he took me to another course, and I cannot remember the name of it. It was very, very close to Moose Landing.
Would it be like Pike Run maybe?
Pike Run. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. Pike Run.
Yeah.
We got there really early, and when we walked in to pay our green fees and for our card, I saw 2 or 3 guys with Miller City golf polo shirts on. I said, "Hey, you guys go to Miller City?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
If you're looking for an easy and affordable way to purchase all of your sporting good needs, look no further than Game One, located in Swanton, Ohio. I've worked with LJ Archambault for 20 years, and I have never worked with a more honest, punctual, and detail-oriented sporting goods salesman. I coached for nearly 3 decades and in 2 different states, and have never worked with a better organization than Game One, and more importantly, a better person than LJ Archambault. It's always game on at Game One.
Yeah, I say so. I taught freshmen for a couple years and stuff. I think it's the last time we talked. I was still teaching freshmen. I'd have them like 2 or 3 times a day for science, history, whatever. So now I moved down to the middle school side, middle school science. But
Okay.
I still see those guys all the time. Some of them will stop down. And then I helped with golf one year because we had a girls team, boys team, and JV team. So it was kind of everybody was all over the place. So I was kind of the where do you need me? When do you need me?
Right.
Practice guy, which was fine. I got to go hit some golf balls and hang out and stuff. So, but my wife is like, yeah, it's getting a little late on some of these nights. And now with 2 kids, she's like, yeah,
Yes.
golf is kind of out of the question during the week. So.
Yeah. One of your blades on your Swiss Army knife was removed.
Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network and the Basketball Nexus website. We would certainly appreciate it if you would consider hitting the like, share, comment, and subscribe buttons on our social media postings. That helps us push our Small Coaches Network up that social media algorithm, which allows us to not only grow, but also continue to provide these free podcasts for basketball coaching junkies. Thank you in advance.
30 seconds one way and 3-4 minutes the other way, and so it makes it nice. And we got a lot of friends around the area that we trust and stuff if we ever need to drop the kids off or need help with things. So makes life a lot easier for sure.
I love it. Small town America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Americana. Love it. Well, Coach, going back to what we talked about earlier, I don't want to kill your evening. You have had another just tremendous season, and my wife and I certainly follow Miller City religiously. Keep up the good work, and I'll be in touch with you here in a few weeks once we get into spring and closer to baseball. And I got a couple things I'd like to run past you. But until then, get some rest and keep knocking it out of the ballpark in the classroom. And thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun to talk about basketball and everything else that has to go with it. So I appreciate it so much.
Very good, Coach. Well, thank you. And tell your lovely wife, my wife and I said hello, and we will be in touch with you sooner than later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.